Hi, this is Namrata Heda, and in this presentation we will discuss about angiosperms. As we have seen in earlier presentations, there are four major groups of plants as bryophytes, seedless vascular plants, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So in this presentation we will cover the angiosperms, which include flowering plants. So the division angiospermy is sometimes also called division Anthophyta, as the word anthe means flower and phyto means plant. So it is called Anthophyta because the common name for this group is the flowering plants. The angiosperms are so named because the seeds are enclosed within a fruit of some sort. There are certain characteristics of angiosperms, like it has flowers. The flowers are the reproductive organs of the flowering plants, and they are the most remarkable feature distinguishing them from other seed plants. Next, stamen. Stamen with two pairs of pollen sacs. Stamens are much lighter than the corresponding organs of gymnosperms. Stamens have also become modified through time to prevent self-fertilization. Next characteristic, reduced male parts, that is 3 cells. The male gametophyte in angiosperms is significantly reduced in size compared to those of gymnosperm seed plants. The smaller pollen decreases the time from pollination to fertilization. In gymnosperms, fertilization can occur up to a year after pollination, whereas in angiosperms, fertilization begins very soon after pollination. The shorter time leads to angiosperm plants seeding seeds sooner and faster than gymnosperms, which is a distinct evolutionary advantage. Another characteristic is closed carpel enclosing the ovules. This helps to prevent self-fertilization, thereby maintaining increased diversity. Once the ovary is fertilized, the carpel and some surrounding tissues develop into a fruit. This fruit often serves as an attractant to seed dispersing animals. Next characteristic is reduced female gametophyte, which is 7 cells with 8 nuclei. The reduced female gametophyte, like the reduced male gametophyte, may be an adaptation allowing for more rapid seed set, eventually leading to such flowering plant adaptations as annual herbaceous life cycles, allowing the flowering plants to fill even more niches. And the last characteristic being the endosperm. In general, endosperm formation begins after fertilization and before the first division of the zygote. Endosperm is a highly nutritive tissue that can provide food for the developing embryo, the cotyledons, and sometimes the seedling when it first appears. So the division Angiospermae contains two main classes as monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Monocotyledons include orchids, lilies, and the dicotyledon includes trees and shrubs. Let's quickly have a look at the differences between the two classes. First, considering the seeds. Monocots, one nutrient storage area, that is one cotyledon. In dicots, two nutrient storage areas, that is dicotyledon, two cotyledons. The leaves in monocots, it has parallel veins. In dicots, it is neck or branching veins. The flower parts are in 3 in monocots. The flower parts are in 2, 4 or 5 in dicots. The monocots have many fibrous roots. The dicots have one main taproot, which may have smaller roots branching off. And in monocots, the bundles in the vascular tissue are scattered throughout the stem. However, in dicots, the bundles are arranged in a ring. Now coming to different parts of the angiosperms. First, the roots. Roots are generally underground and serve to absorb water and nutrients. The stems, which come in various types such as stolon, which is an above ground runner, rhizome, which is an underground runner, bulb, which is a fleshy stem modified for nutrient storage. The leaves can be from many shapes, from round to a heart shape to oblong. The leaf can be simple, that is entire all in one piece, as can be seen in this diagram. Or it can be compound, that is divided into multiple leaflets. Compound leaves with their leaflets arranged like a feather are pinnately compound, and leaves with their leaflets arranged like a person's finger are said to be palmately compound. The leaves can be in the opposite arrangement, which arise from branch stems in pairs as shown in the figure, or it can be alternate with each other going up the stem. The leaves can also be whorled, where more than two leaves arise from the same place on the stem. So flowers. Flowers are the reproductive structures of an angiosperm, and it consists of 4 whorls of modified leaves. So we'll discuss the 4 whorls from outside in. So first, sepals. Sepals are often small and green, but are colored like the petals in tulips and lilies, and which generally enclose the flower before it opens. Next, petals. Petals are collectively called corolla. They are often brightly colored to attract pollinators like insects, birds, etc., and may be from very simple to highly modified. Next, stamens. Stamen is the male reproductive organ, which consists of a stalk, that is the filament, and a tip, that is the anther, where the microspores are produced and turn into pollen. Next, pistil or carpel, which consists of ovary, the bottom end where seeds are produced, the style, which is the stalk portion, and the stigma, which is the outer sticky tip where pollen sticks when it lands or is placed there. Now, botanists group species of plants based on a number of characteristics. The botanists pay particular attention to how the flowers are put together. Like a complete flower has all 4 layers of parts. An incomplete flower lacks 1 or more layers. A perfect flower has both sexes, both stamens and pistils. A monoecious plant has perfect flowers or has both male and female flowers on the same plant. For example, Easter lily, pea, dandelion and rose. An imperfect flower is lacking either the pistil or stamens. A dioecious plant has imperfect flowers on separate male and female plants. For example, hops, box elder, persimmon. Just note that the plants such as ginkgo, which is a gymnosperm, which doesn't produce flowers but which has separate male and female reproductive structures on separate male and female plants, are also referred to as being dioecious. An irregular flower has bilateral symmetry and is also known as zygomorphic flower. A regular flower is radially symmetrical. So these were the different kinds of flower. Now multiple flower can be arranged or clustered in various ways, as can be seen in the diagram. There can be the raceme arrangement, there can be panicle arrangement or corymb arrangement, the spike, umbel, head, compound umbel, cyme or spadix arrangement. So the flowers can be arranged in different kinds. Coming to next characteristic, that is the fruit. Fruit is a ripened or a mature ovary, and it serves as a protection and means of dispersal for the seeds. Various types of fruit include simple fruits which arise from one ovary and one flower. Examples include cucumber, pea pod, walnut, tomato, orange, cherry, apple, dandelion, and maple helicopter. There are a number of types of simple fruit, each with its own official name. Aggregate fruits. Aggregate fruits arise from several ovaries in one flower. Examples include raspberry and strawberry. The multiple fruits arise from ovaries in several tightly clustered flowers which grow together into one fruit. Examples include pineapple, mulberry, and breadfruit. Coming to the life cycle of angiosperms. Angiosperms have alternation of generation with the 2N sporophyte being the dominant generation. So the anthers, which are equivalent of microsporangia, produce microspores by meiosis, and the microspores develop into the male gametophyte, that is pollen. The ovaries, which are equivalent of megasporangia, produce megaspores, which grow into female gametophytes, each of which then produces an egg. Note that technically the sex organs of a plant aren't, because they produce spores which turn into male or female gametophyte. The gametophytes bear the true sex organs such as they are, and are where eggs and sperms are actually produced. By some means, say by wind or by animal pollinator, the pollen is transferred to the stigma of the pistil and a pollen tube grows down into the ovary, as can be seen in the diagram. Eventually, 2 sperm nuclei travel down the pollen tube. The pollination is the transfer of pollen, that is the male gametophyte, to the stigma of the female, whereas the fertilization is when the sperm nucleus and the egg nucleus unite. So angiosperms have an unusual thing called the double fertilization. When the sperm nuclei reach the female gametophyte, one sperm nucleus and the egg cell unite to form a new 2N zygote, which grows into an embryo. The other sperm nucleus and 2 nuclei form the female gametophyte, joined to form 3N endosperm, which often serves as food for the embryo. So this is the life cycle of a typical angiosperm. Now we'll just briefly know about the embryosporophyte. So the embryosporophyte, it consists of 1 or 2 nutrient storage areas which are called cotyledons, which are in contact with and absorb nutrients from the 3N endosperm. Seeds of some species store their nutrients primarily in the endosperm, having very small cotyledons, while others have most of their nutrients stored in their cotyledons and the endosperm is very small. The epicotyle, which is the region above the cotyledons and which will become the stem and the leaves. The hypocotyle is the region which is under the cotyledons. The lower end of the hypocotyle, which becomes the root system, is called the radicle and will become the roots. In general, monocots tend to store food in their endosperms, and nutrients are transferred to the cotyledon only as needed. In contrast, many dicots, not all dicots, tend to store food in their cotyledons, with the endosperm being reduced to a papery coating around the embryo. So here we complete the topic angiosperms. Here are the references for the entire major group of plants. Thank you.